Alright, welcome back, and this is going to be the fourth episode of Quadstick functions, and today we're going to be covering force off. I then mentioned it in a previous video, I believe toggled just briefly, but I like to use force off a lot. It's like, it corrects my mistakes if I were to make one. So let's get into it. So you're going to see a bunch of a mess on this side, starting from line 22 all the way to the bottom. Oh wow, go all the way to 66. So anyway, the whole point is, I have lines 22 to lines 30, and they're all toggle functions. So what force off is made to do is to turn off the commands that are still on and force them to shut off, hence the name force off. And the way you do it is, let's say I toggled left 1, which is line 22. You would have to make a command for that. So you put left 1 the same, and you say force off, and then you put the command that you want to do it. That's when you look at it, you'll see multiple lines of left 1 and force offs, but they all have different commands on the right side. So what turns them off is the side tube, right sip and puff, the soft sip of the Quadstick itself. And I usually do that because every time I switch modes, I don't have time to turn them all off. So every time I right sip the tube, it shuts off every single command that I have toggled and or delay latched. Force off can work with, like I mentioned, toggled, delay latch, and pulse. And delay off, I believe. It's not meant to work with greater than, less than, less. It's not meant to work with greater than, less than, or constant. And let me just show you what I mean. So we have lines 22 all the way to 30 toggled. So if I scroll down, you notice left 1, left 2, left 3, and so on, all the way to square. And they all have the same commands. That's why you see a bunch of these highlighted stuff. That means I repeat the command. It's like a warning sign from Google telling me, hey, you're using multiple of the same commands. Is that what you want? In my case, yes. And under my blabber, let me show you what I mean. So right now I'm going to toggle all the buttons I can possible. So as you can see, I toggled a lot of things, and force off, if you notice on the left side of that whole mess, I set all those toggle commands to be turned off by the side tube and the mouthpiece when I sip it and sip soft, which is select and start on the default profiles. I never switch those. So if I were to push start like if I normally would, which is right sip soft, boom, turns everything off. I don't have to worry about it. It's all good to go. So let me turn them all again. Let's say I'm quickly playing Call of Duty or something like that, and I have things toggled, maybe not that excessive. I've also put the right tube, so I would sip and or puff the side tube, and I set it to also turn everything off. So if I were to go to mode 2, it will turn everything off, and I don't have to worry about it. And when I go back to it, it's still off. So everything's good. Like I said, force off is good for fixing mistakes or preventing them. So I like to use it a lot. Please imagine this real quick. So let's say I have left 1 right here, line 31, right? And I need 10 commands to force it off. I need commands to force it off, but I can only use up to I can only go up to 40 because after that it will not be read. So this is the amount of space or room I have to create force-offs. I don't put to create force-offs. So keep in mind, you only have 10 spaces to make force-offs per mode. If I were to switch modes to second mode, I have 10 more. So per mode sheet, you can only use 10 force-offs command per command that you want to turn off. So if I were to make 10 commands for left 1, I would put it right here and it would work fine. If I were to put 11, then the one after 10 would not work, and it creates more mistakes for the Quadstick. So keep that in mind. But there's also another usage. With the new update, let's go to the COD mod. You'll see numbers next to them, force-offs. So with the new update, force-off by default with no number, it's set to get activated in 1 millisecond. But I don't want sometimes 1 millisecond. In this one I put 600. So what does that mean? So up here it says on line 16 and 17 I set to toggle forward sprint because I don't strafe in my games. So I will always toggle forward, and sometimes when I'm playing COD I want to shoot the enemy without stopping. So I set it down here 24 and 25 to force off at 600 milliseconds when I center sip it. And right above it on line 23 is right 2, which is the right trigger. It's set at center sip also, and it shoots. So if we read the side, it said if I were to shoot for 600 milliseconds without letting go of the center sip, it will continue to walk forward. But if I were to shoot for more than 600 milliseconds, it will turn off sprint and forward. And this is what it looks like. This is without stopping. And this is if I were to shoot more than 600 milliseconds. Alright, look, this is what force off does. Let's say I also want sprint and forward to turn off when I do melee attacks. So on lines 28 and 29, I set the forward sprint to turn off at 400 milliseconds on right center sip, and right above it, right center sip is R3, and it's melee. So let me show you again. This is meleeing without stopping. And this is using melee, and it forces the command to stop. And there you have it. That's really all the uses I use it, but like I said, everybody's creative. Come up with your own way of using it, that'll be great. And right below it, if you notice, I do force offs when I right sip the tube and I right puff the tube, as to prevent mistakes. So I'm gonna go over it one more time using ShotWiki to better explain it again, since I just updated it. When the input activates, it will force the output off. This is used to allow one input to force off an output that was turned on by an earlier input. Force off works with a delay parameter. If you don't add one, the default delay is 1 millisecond. At the end of the delay, it clears a specific command assigned to off. It both clears the value to 0 and the toggle and delay latch, so it can be ready for the next activation. Force off should work with latching type functions, toggle, delay latch, delay off, and pulse. It does not work with greater than, less than, or constant. Other than that, have a good one, guys. Wait for the next episode.